Hello, everybody. We're back with an exciting new feature in our system, which is the booking tool for the joint session. This has been expected for a while. When we announced it, everybody was very excited. And to give you a little context, when you try to book a joint session, which is usually the last session for an intended parent and either a gestational carrier or a known donor, sometimes it takes a while to book that appointment because lots of times you're coordinating four different people that need to be part of that appointment. Now, so that usually requires a lot of emails back and forth, trying to figure out when is the best day and time that works for everybody. Well, this tool is meant to completely automate that process. So, to put it in a nutshell, you send a soft booking link like you already do for normal appointments, but the intended parent will receive that first email. And then when they click the link, you will open this tool, which will take a look from all points of view here, from your point of view, from the patient's point of view. That patient, the intended parent will have the opportunity to choose and suggest a number of dates and times that works for them for the joint session. That will be sent to the gestational carrier, for example, which she will have the chance to review it and accept one of the days and times that were suggested, or she will have the chance to suggest new days and times back to the intended parent. And that process goes back and forth until they choose a day and time that works for everybody, and at which point the system will secure the appointment, book it, send all the notifications, send all the text messages, so on and so forth. So I'm kind of just summarizing it, but it does a lot of things in the back end, but it's a very simple tool in the front end for you and for the patient that just looks to streamline this entire process. So without any further ado, let me show you how it works. So on your dashboard here, of course, this is our mock database for egg bank test. You click to send a soft booking link. So when you get to this screen, it should be familiar to you. You choose a sublocation if you have one. If you have sub teams or sublocations, here's where you choose it. If not, it's going to show default. You choose the type of appointment, and here's where it starts to be a little different. Of course, and when you choose you have to choose the joint session for this, and it creates this little different bottom part over here. So here's where you choose the patients for the joint session. Now, you can search for an existing patient or you can select new patient. This is for that rare case where, if let's say, for example, the gestational carrier had the appointment with us, her evaluation already with us, but the IPs didn't. They had it somewhere else and they already had one from the past. So then you need to create that new patient. You have to enter full name, email, phone number, and the type of patient here. And the process is exactly the same. You're just creating a new patient as opposed to selecting an existing one. So you can do two new patients, you can do two existing patients, or you can do one existing, one new. Any combination in here, you will work the same way. So for the sake of time, let's select a new patient here. So let's select an existing patient, I should say. So for example, Ironman, you found that patient, and we always have the email in front of it as the unique identifier. So you can separate that one if there's two people with the same name, and you add that first patient. So that's the intended parent. It doesn't matter the sequence. You can add the GC first. It doesn't matter. But let's say you selected Iron Man. He is the intended parent. Then you go in and you search for the next patient. And then again, you have the email as the unique identifier in front of it. And Rogue is the gestational carrier. Boom. This is all you need to do on your end. So now you selected the intended parent and you selected the gestational carrier that are going to be part of that appointment. You hit send link. The system sent the soft booking. It was created. If you go to your soft booking tab here on your dashboard, you're going to see that there. And if you click the eye next to it, now it shows all the information. So it shows the main patient, which is the RMN, it's the patient type, which is intended parent. Then you have Rogue, which the patient type is the gestational carrier, and then some information about the soft booking, which of course this case is pending because we just created it. And now the first patient, which is considered the main patient, the intended parents for that appointment, because remember, there's always an intended parent in a joint session. The secondary patient can be a gestational carrier or can be a known donor, known egg donor, or known sperm donor, but there's always an intended parent. So the main patient receives that first email, and they will have the chance to initiate the process of offering and suggesting different days and times for the appointment that then the gestational carrier will be able to review. That's it. On your end, this is all you have to do. So now you don't have to send emails, phone calls, asking when they're available. They're going to choose that themselves. So let me go ahead and show you how it works from the patient side. Okay, so now we're looking at it from the patient perspective. So they're going to receive this exact email. So it's going to say the patient name, hello, Ironman, Egg Bank Test, which is the name of your company here, has requested an appointment for you with Mind360. We have a couple of bullet points here explaining how it works. You can select multiple days and times and submit those. If they accept, the appointment will be booked, or if not, they can propose alternative times back for your review. So once they click on this, it goes straight into the booking tool. It does an automatic login. They go straight into their portal. They can access home, their billing, documents, everything in here. But it goes straight into this booking tool. Your company name is pre-selected. It of sublocation, if there's any, everything is pre-selected. They click next. The appointment is pre-selected. The system knows if they're responsible for billing in there with of the billing for that appointment. In this case, they are. If it is set up for you to pay for that appointment, this won't even show for them. And so the appointment is pre-selected already. All they gotta do is start selecting days. So they select. It explains at the top too. Select two or more dates for your joint session with Rogue, which is here the name of the gestational carrier in this case. So they select 2 days, let's say 3 days here. So they selected 3 different days, and then they can start selecting times. So the system knows exactly the times that are available within the days that they have chosen. So they can always change, go back and forth, whatever they want to do. Just as a quick note, as you know, the system does select the time zone of their computer. So wherever they're sitting on their computer or in their phone, it will detect that time zone automatically, but they always have the chance to change the time zone here if they wish to do so. But okay, they selected 3 different days. They can pick 4 different days. They can skip it. They can be whatever days they want. And then they have to select at least 5 different times in total. So they can select days within each one of the days here. And they have to select. So for example, here they picked a bunch of different times within each of the days that they've pre-selected. So they can then at that point, the system will show this button to them that they can send it, and it says send time proposal. They hit send, and boom, this is all they have to do. Your appointment proposal has been sent to the other participant. You will receive an email once they review and accept one of your proposed dates or suggest alternative options. It's very cool. So once they go home, the system will keep here in the main page. You will put this square up in the main page here saying that you have a pending joint session with Rogue, and it's waiting for a response from Rogue. Now, all these days and times, they're not clickable from this end because these are the times that were suggested, right? So now we're going to go to the other patient, Rogue, and see what she received and how she will view it, or and how she'll be able to either accept or suggest times back. Okay, now we're looking at it from the gestational carrier perspective. So in this case, Rogue X received that email saying, hey, Rogue, your egg bank test has requested an appointment for you with Mind360. There's a very brief explanation also saying that she's been provided with several rescheduling options. Click the link below to review, and she can either accept or she can propose different times back. So once she clicks on this button, it goes straight into the portal, does an automatic login. This message just appears when they have anything missing, let's say consent forms or anything that they have to fill out or sign. This message keeps popping up. But then in here, you see that the message is different for her. It says you have a pending joint session with Ironman, which is her intended parent, and choose from the options below. The times shown in gray are no longer available. What that means is this is a dynamic calendar. So let's say, for example, it took 2 or 3 days for her to look at her email, and once she clicked on it to look at it, someone booked an appointment on December 5th at 3 p.m. Now that time will be no longer available, so show at 3 p.m. We don't keep these appointments secured per se. It's a dynamic schedule, so these are all proposals, and hopefully they'll all be available by the time she looks at it because we have multiple providers. So multiple providers may be available on 12/5 at 3 p.m. So even though someone books at that time, chances are that 3 p.m. spot's still going to be available. But if it's the case that it takes too long and then any of these times are not available anymore, then they will be grayed out and she won't be able to click on them. But as you can see, it's clickable here, different than it is for when the intended parents proposed. Then they can click on it. Of course, they're just waiting on a response. But for her, it is right here on her homepage. She can select a day and a time that works for her, and she can simply confirm and schedule. Let's say, for example, none of these work for her. She can click on propose new times. You will go to the exact same situation that the intended parent. Now, keep it look here that it doesn't show any financials because, of course, the gestational carrier is not responsible for paying for that appointment. The system knows that based on your settings. So then she can also come in here and select multiple days and times. And she can, with times within those days that she pre-selected, so on and so forth. And she can then quick update and the intended parent will receive those proposals back. There'll be an email saying that none of the primes worked for the GC, for the IPs to look at the new proposed times and then select them. So they have the option to come here and do that. But let's say, for example, that on December 5th at 12 p.m. does work for her. She can just simply click on it here right on her homepage and confirm and schedule. Boom, that's it. Now you look that it says that her next appointment is on 12/5 at 12 p.m., which is the appointment that she just selected. And if you go to the appointments tab, you then see that joint session right here. Now, please disregard all these other appointments. Of course, this is a test database. So we have a ton of stuff in here, but this is the joint session that was just scheduled. Yet you can see the status. She can see the day and the time, the business client, which is in this case, Zag Bank Test, the provider that she will see. And of course, here, it already made that match, already made that connection with the intended parent Ironman. Now, if you go back to the Ironman page, this will also show, and we're going to take a look there in a minute, but this is as simple as that. So all the proposals showed on her homepage, very laid out. She clicked on it, confirmed and booked, or she could go through the process of suggesting times back. This is as simple as this is for the patients, for the intended parents, suggesting for the gestational carer receiving the proposals and suggesting times back. It takes no time for them to book. So if you're looking at their text messages and they're looking at their emails, it is very simple for them to see and follow this tool. And on your end, you don't have to do anything. I'm going to show up besides sending that soft booking link. Everything is automated and everything is taken care of by the system. Let me show you how he looks now on the intended parent side and on your side. Now you can see here from Ironman's perspective, this is a homepage look exactly the same, of course, because he's also a patient. It shows the next appointment at 12 p.m. And keep in mind, he follows their time zones. So if they were in different time zones, of course, this time here would be shown as the time zone for Ironman. Let's say the GC was on Pacific time. This would show 9 a.m. for her, so on and so forth. If you go under appointments, and there again, please disregard on the other appointments. This is all mock data. But if you look at the one that's booked here, it says the day and time, the same provider. And if you look under connections, now remember when we were under Rogue, it showed Ironman under the intended parent. Now, of course, because we're under Ironman, it shows Rogue as the gestational carrier. So the system knows exactly what the connection is. Now, everybody here received email confirmations. They're going to get their text messages. They're going to get the telehealth link 1 hour prior to the appointment. Everything else that the system already did before kicks into gear and their joint session is booked. Now, let's go back to your dashboard and see how it looks from there. Now we're back to your dashboard and you can see now that you have that joint session with Ironman. It's always going to show the main patient here, just a matter of space in the screen, and the joint session. You can always click the I and you then see the information for that appointment. So the main patient, you then have the connections here, Rogue. Rogue is the gestational carrier and she is selected to participate in that appointment. So there you go. You got both patients. Everything is booked. If you go back to your soft booking tab, you will see that that soft booking is no longer there. It's a dynamic list. So if they book the appointment, it falls off from this list. It goes back to your dashboard. Please pay attention to the time here because it always shows the current month. So you will show the 1st to the 30th or 31st on that month. So if you don't see an appointment here listed, please make sure that you either go back or further in the calendar here that you expand this date range so you can see the appointments either from the past or the future. So that's it. This is as simple as that. This is how the new automated joint session booking tool works. If you have any questions, of course, you can always click on this chat tool and you can send us a message. We do our best to stay on top of these messages over here. You can always email us also, but this is a great automation tool that will save a lot of emails, a lot of back and forth with intended parents, gestational carers, and also known donors regarding the joint session. So we're glad to bring this to you. We hope you enjoy it, and this will facilitate your daily operations, and we're always here to help. Thank you.